Welcome to the Hellfire Club. This highbrow sophistication isn't for everybody. However, if it's raids that you're after, then look no further. Enemies will crumble beneath your feet as you send wave after wave. I welcome it. Or maybe it's Crucible that you're after. That is a gentleman's game, of course, and power isn't just about brute strength. It's about being able to put pressure on your opponent, having the tactical awareness, and the psychological mind to be able to decimate them. If that is something that you're interested in, then look no further and follow me. How's it going, everybody? This is Seer here, and today we're going to be discussing the Hellfire Club and how they're going to be doing in the current raids, what I think the purpose of this team is for, how this team's going to perform in war, and what's going to happen with Cosmic Crucible, because we have Azazel, who's going to be part of the Accursed team now, and Rachel Summers, who's going to be part of the Immortal X-Men. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at the raids, because that's what this team is actually geared towards. I do want to end up jumping over to the raids right here so we can really discuss what's going to be on the nodes, and then afterwards I'll kind of have some footage kind of spliced in as well, so you kind of see what the gameplay looks like. The biggest thing is this first node right here. I'll make sure I'll move it so that way you guys can actually see it here. This node right here, I had to do 2 resets on it, and still I couldn't basically one-shot this node with everybody alive. The issue being is Madeline's going to start out the turn, and she's going to make it to where the cerebral wound is going to be on all players' side, reduce the active healing of this character by 50% who has it. It isn't too much. However, the opening blast hits everybody, and it did end up putting defense down basically on all of my characters, right? And then Azazel's going to be going next. And as you can see, there are 3 Orcus members right here, including a Sentinel, meaning the Sentinel bot is going to have taunt on spawn, and there's going to be a Black Knight out there as well that you guys are going to be able to see. And what happens is Azazel goes, we use the ultimate. It is a big rebound chain. However, that's RNG, so you're not really guaranteed to actually kill the Black Knight. I was able to do it on both attempts, but I could see in a world where we don't get the kill on the Black Knight. And then after that, the Omega Sentinel is going to keep pinging the Azazel. Azazel ended up getting killed off before he can kill the Omega Sentinel. That is a huge issue and red flag for me that we're going to be having to revive members of this team before this new raid comes out. So I think the new raid's going to be coming out sooner rather than later, which I do want to kind of jump into that. The second node right here honestly wasn't too terrible. Again, there's going to be the Madeline Pryor right here. There's going to be a new Emma. The Black Hats with all of the death proofs is somewhat of an issue, but overall this node wasn't terrible. Now the boss node right here for the mutant boss, this one here, I could see myself wiping on this. I don't know if I kind of misplayed it. I might have done a little misplay that you guys will be able to see from the footage when we jump back over to the roster screen. But basically we have Madeline again doing that big special. It's going to hurt everybody. But there's a Green Goblin Classic out here, and we can't target the Green Goblin Classic because there's a zombie Juggernaut and a Sasquatch that's going to be on the field. The Sasquatch is going to have Safeguard, it's going to have Death Proof, Taunt, and all of its buffs. Is able to do that special for the turn meter rewind. There's also a Kahori Gore. We have a Silver Surfer who's going to be able to ult us. Green Goblin Classic is going to get Trauma out there. And there's a Nico that's going to pepper us with all these negative effects. This node right here, I almost wiped on that you guys will be able to see of what's going to be happening on here. So let's go ahead and jump back over to the roster screen right here. And I'll have the footage up. I'll probably speed it up and just kind of show certain footage of it. I don't know if I'll show the full thing. It depends on the editing of time. Now, what's the thought process behind this and why is this going on? In game, there was a pop-up basically saying, hey, we're going to be having this new Annihilation raid. There was data mines as well that you can see right here. But let's jump over to this one first. So Annihilation raid, unleash Hellfire, recruit and train the Hellfire Club in order to outplay this new raid format. Looks like there's going to be G20 gear rewards in here as well. But the bigger things, the data mine that's in here as well. Now, during the call or interview with RJ and Pathfinder, they said it's going to be April for this new raid. We are currently in April, which means my thinking is when all of the characters come out, the new raid is going to launch. So you don't have to fully build the Hellfire Club right off the bat. I would still recommend building them up. New stats, a new team, might as well, right? But it looks like on here, we need to have Hellfire Club, Thunderbolts, Vigilante, Night Stalkers. Those are the 4 traits. Tech is not listed on here. I think that's going to be that Spider Villain team. And it's going to have Superior Spider-Man on the team. And I did a video basically saying, hey, I think these could be the reworks for that Tech Villain team. I think this could be the new characters that's coming with the team as well. Make sure you guys check that out. Now, the interesting thing is it has Uncanny Avengers on here, which is that Spotlight team. Really, really interesting. I think that's going to kind of make it to where it's like the format that we have right now, to where it's going to be do all these nodes. It's going to be the boss nodes and everything, and how they have it lined up to where you can't really use all of your energy and hit all the boss nodes, and that's how they're going to separate the leaderboard. And with G20 on there, I think that's actually pretty fair to do something like that. Now, as far as the glaring weaknesses of this team, they don't have ways to get through the safeguard. They don't have like no enemies can't spawn with taunt type of thing, meaning that you have to go through those taunt characters. Madeline, though, definitely surprised me during the gameplay. She has that speed of 104, which I thought was very, very slow. However, with her abilities for the special, doing offense down on Brawler Blaster, Disrupt to Protector and Controller, Ability Block to Protector and Support, and then you have the single target nuke here with the ultimate, where it's going to flip, do massive damage, prolong the duration of negative effects. She was very, very powerful during the raids that you're going to see. Emma Frost right here, she kept her speed of 111 as well. They didn't change anything on her kit, just gave her new stats. She was really, really important to the team. Obviously, the passive making it to where they had the speed reduction of 10%, it can be understated how important this was. It made to where the 111 and the 104 speeds that we have right there don't feel as bad, especially when you factor in Sebastian Shaw right here, to where when he gets attacked, Emma Frost gets turn meter. When he drops below 50% health, Emma Frost gets turn meter. Emma Frost is deceptively very fast. However, I couldn't fully use her kit because there'd be trauma on our side of the field as well. So when I do the special, it would put her in diamond form, but it wouldn't cleanse those negative effects. I end up using the ultimate more times than I use the special to really get the blinds out there, strip the positive effects, and try to get the damage out there. So it was just very odd, and that's why I don't think this team was actually skilled and geared to work in the Chaotic Storm raid. So that's my thought process as far as that goes. Let's go ahead and dive into the Crucible portion right now. Again, I'll have some footage that's going to be popping up. Azazel, I think he's the winner for the 2 members between him and Rachel Summers. His passive, to where he gets the drain out there and he generates the ability energy, he's going to be getting the turn meter and everything. He actually kind of lifted the Accursed team more than I kind of thought he would. Now, the team is going to like be redefined and take out all these new counters or anything like that. They still take out the Starjammers team pretty easy. That's no problem. They take out the Illuminati team, no problem. The Phoenix Force team was still RNG based, to where if they can actually take out that Phoenix Force with Gladiator, with Thanos Endgame and everything, I was able to do it with him. But it wasn't as clean as I would hope. There was a very interesting match to where I had the 5-piece Accursed going into stage 2 against Accursed with Mephisto. That was on the defensive side of things. And surprisingly, I was able to get the victory on that one because of Azazel and the Drain. The ultimate also getting those rebounds, doing a little bit of that turn meter. It was pretty nice to be able to get that win. The shocking thing is I was able to take out Xavier comp twice. Once in stage 1, I think it was. The other was in stage 3, if I recall the stages for it. And it was definitely RNG based, and this was all 7/7s going into 7/7. So is that going to be sustainable and being able to replicate that type of success? I don't know. The Odin had 7 red stars and didn't have diamonds, which we have today. The Emma Frost and a lot of the other members didn't have diamonds on them. We'd be able to have diamonds on the Cursed as well. So I'm really curious if that's going to be something that we can kind of replicate and really kind of get the, hey, stamp approval, this team's really good here type of thing. For Rachel Summers, the Immortal X-Men feels like a flop to me, is the best way to really put it. I tried taking Polaris out. I tried taking Cable out because right off the bat, I'm like, well, let's take Cable out because of the passive right here, where if Cable's not a ally, she'll be able to fill the speed bar just like Cable does. The issue being is that Cable, he has a turn meter rewind. He's able to get the charge and basically take the double turn because his basic, if he doesn't have charge, do the basic, you get 80% speed bar. Then you can do a basic, go right back into a special. The special does a turn meter rewind. So Cable still has a lot of value. So it's not always going to be Polaris that's going to be kind of sitting on the bench, or Cable that's going to be sitting on the bench. It really, really depends on how you want to really play it. The special, how she's able to spread stun, staying with the ultimate here, spread stun, very, very unique to be able to do something like that. It didn't really come into play though, because going against Phoenix Force, you can't really stun the Phoenix Force members. Do you really want to try to waste a stun into Thanos endgame, because Super Skrull's typically with them? He can't get trauma, meaning he's going to shoot the stun right back over to us. So it really gives you 1, maybe 2 options to get the stun out there. So this team really struggles still into the Phoenix Force comp. They can't take out Starjammers. They can't take out a Cursed. They can't take out all these high meta teams like Xavier comps either. So it's really confusing to me what this team is supposed to be for. So they were supposed to get about a 10 or 15% kind of bump in what they can typically do. So what do we throw them into? We can't throw them into the Illuminati Black Knight Odin comp. Yeah, they can take out Illuminati a whole lot easier, but do we realistically see Illuminati with Odin or without Odin as much anymore? I mean, I did go against like a Black Knight Illuminati Doctor Strange comp. They'd be able to take that out. I think the real value with Rachel Summers comes from breaking up the Immortal X-Men. I've been doing that more often than not, to where I can try to use Storm with her very, very quick speed of 131 right here, and that turn 1 stun with slows. And then I use Jean Grey as well. She has 129 speed, very, very fast. I can use the special turn 1, prolong those negative effects. And then you can add Rachel Summers, who has a speed of 124. So say you end up getting the stun and slow into Xavier, then she could try to spread those stuns to other members by doing the special. Because if you do the ultimate, that's going to do the reduction. You don't want to do the ultimate. You do the special though, that's going to let you to spread stun and 3 other negative effects. And then basically you hit that to another injured enemy. I think that's going to be the real winner of the Rachel Summers kind of change of what she can kind of do, is you can break up the Immortal X-Men and take out much, much better comps than using them as a full Immortal X-Men team. Now, as far as the team goes as War, let's go ahead and jump over to the War gameplay right now. I did end up testing a few things out with this team, and I didn't like fall in love or get blown away with what this team kind of do in War, but I was able to take out a few interesting teams. So let's go ahead and kind of go through them. The Astro with Black Cat, this one here is fairly interesting. With the Black Cat does kind of throw it off a little bit. You can't take out Liberty. You can't take out this Mephisto null comp. You can't take out Odin. You can take out the Vigilantes. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one right here. This is kind of the placement I typically do as well. Shaw's on the one end. I put Madeline adjacent. Now in war, Madeline is typically the first one you're going to be benching out because she does have that very, very slow speed. But when she goes, she is that ticking time bomb of a character because of what she can kind of do on there. Now, as far as this one goes, we're going to end up popping the ult first. This is going to do that rebound chain that's going to be bouncing all over the place. It does turn meter rewind for each hit as well, which is pretty cool. Now we have Sebastian Shaw. We're going to end up popping the special right here. And there goes Silver Sable right off the bat. Let's go ahead and use the special. That's going to get slows out there, but they have the immunity. Let's go ahead and use the special. This is going to, yeah, just kind of delete them. So let's go ahead and use the special here with Madeline. And now they're finally getting their turn. So you can kind of see they weren't lying at all that this team can basically take out any other raid team that's currently in the game. They do that with ease. Now, I know this is Vigilante. We don't typically see Vigilante in war defense because there's such a powerhouse on the offensive side of things. So let's go ahead and take out the Thunderbolts. The Thunderbolts, this one here, there is the Songbird who can do that turn 1 ult. Outside of that, the team's not really too big of a threat in war. So let's go ahead and see what this one looks like. So they do have the Safeguard right off the bat. We do have Azazel first. I'm going to target Songbird first and use the ultimate here. That's going to get the turn meter rewinds kind of popping off. And it looks like I got lucky. I did not hit Hyperion once. That is actually a shock. All right, so Taskmaster gets the blind on us. Did end up hitting into Sebastian Shaw, which means I'm a Frascos. We use the special. That's going to cleanse everything. Now we can end up using Shaw's special. Let's go into Victoria Hand because she is that healer. All right, let's go ahead and use the ultimate here. Apply immunity over to us. We already have that on kill fill speed. We're not going to get the kill. Flip positive effects, there really isn't. So let's use the special. This is going to spread those negative effects. And now we can end up doing the special here. I do have Madeline as a striker. So now I'm going to get the striker shot into Songbird. And let's go ahead, target Taskmaster with the ultimate. And now the ult from Sebastian Shaw should kind of finish them out. Yeah. So super easy matchup here as well. The turn meter kind of being gained when Sebastian Shaw gets hit or drops below health really pushes Emma. It's really nice. Alpha Flight, I tested this one out. They do that one just fine. Night Stalkers, we don't typically see them on defense. Orcus, we do see them on defense a little bit here and there now. Let's go ahead and take this one out. And then I'll kind of show you what I think the winner is of what they can take out on defense, which is pretty interesting, I felt. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the ultimate here with Azazel. There goes the Sentinel bot. There's some turn meter rewinds going. And let's go ahead into Omega Sentinel because of those pings. All right, special here. That's going to get slow out there. All right, let's go ahead, use the special. And that is not unavoidable, but we did kill the Scientist Supreme. That's fine. All right, let's go ahead and target here. You have the death proof. This is going to be the special big hit striker shot. All right, so Lady Deathstrike should be getting killed off here soon. And let's go ahead, go into the Nimrod. And yeah, super easy as you guys see for that one. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some other defenses. Like I said, there's one I thought was pretty interesting for a counter. I think it's up here. Starjammers, we can take Starjammers out. Infestation was dirty. That was not clean at all. Now, this is the one that really surprised me. We're going to take Madeline out. We're going to throw Apocalypse in here. So Apocalypse is going to give the extra health, the extra damage, and I was actually shocked. This team can actually take out an Astral comp. I don't know if they can take out the one that has like the Cosmic Ghost Rider flex into it, but it is pretty interesting. So let's go ahead, go into Doctor Strange with the ultimate and getting those positive effects off, and good RNG hits going into the Doctor Strange right here. All right, let's go ahead and special, because I do want to kill that Doctor Strange. All right, so now we get to special. That's going to knock some of those evades off. Let's go ahead and ult into new Emma. Striker shot kills her. Now we have APOC going. We end up popping the ult right here. Now, I did try this with Madeline over Apocalypse. It does not work. We kind of get our opening turns. Then they get to do their rebound, heal back up, and then just basically annihilate us. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting counter to be able to take out a Astral team by adding Apocalypse in there. And it was super easy, super clean as far as that goes. Now, as far as any other teams, we can't take out Xavier comps. So Accursed, they're not good on defense. So you can definitely take out the Accursed team. So overall, where's my head at with the Hellfire Club? Azazel is the big winner in my opinion. For what I could end up punching into with the Accursed. It's just that slight bump. I want to see if that is scalable and it translates from test server to the live server as far as that goes. Sebastian Shaw, he's pretty good. Rachel, I think, like I said, with the Immortal X-Men, it's going to be one of those things where if you break up the Immortal X-Men, you can use this 3-piece, add in 2 other members, and they can form a very unique team to be able to try to take out some Xavier comps in Cosmic Crucible. That's my thinking behind it. I'm just kind of torn as far as the Hellfire Club it goes. I do think either they need to give them some raid buffs because of how much I struggled in the raids portion. Otherwise, they are better than, say, teams like the Thunderbolts, obviously, outside of Songbird. She was like the big winner of that team. And some of the other teams, I think Night Stalkers is still one of my favorite teams. Vigilante turned out to be amazing on the offensive side of things. Just Hellfire Club just doesn't really... It feels a little lacking, as you guys kind of see from this footage. But again, this is test server. Who knows when they go to the live game, it might end up being better than that. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.